What is up, Jangsters? It's your boy Graham, also known as HamHawks42 on the internet, and today I want to talk about rotation. Rotation is an event that occurs once per year that impacts Standard, and for the first time, it's going to be impacting Alchemy. Now, the reason that that's noteworthy is because Alchemy is a brand new format as of this last year, so it's never had an opportunity to rotate before, so I may mention that a couple more times throughout the course of this video. What rotation is an opportunity to take some of the older cards that have been around in Standard for at least a year and take them out of the format so that the newer cards have an opportunity to shine and potentially create new decks that we haven't seen before. Whereas the more cards that are available in a given format, the more homogenized it becomes. We see this with older formats where individual cards that have been printed in some cases 20 years ago remain some of the most powerful cards in that format, and it's very difficult or very unlikely that other cards rise to take their place. You know, certain cards like Brainstorm come to mind as a card that is just, in every format where it's legal, it's just one of the best cards. It just is, you know, and there are plenty of examples like that. Now, in recent times, there has been some power creep that has shaken up older formats. I don't want to talk about that today. We're talking about rotation. The main purpose of rotation is to keep Standard fresh, and in order to keep Standard fresh, we need to come up with some kind of schedule to take some older cards and take them out. And in order to do that, well, the way that Wizards currently is doing that is in September, they are doing, what they're calling renewal season. Now, renewal season is a time when they give gifts, actually. They literally will give gifts to arena players who are, you know, maybe nervous about a lot of their cards rotating out of what could be their favorite format in either Standard or Alchemy. And that's a fair concern. If you're a newer player and you're thinking, oh no, my cards are going to go away, it's like, well, kind of, but not really. And that's the value of older formats like Historic and Explorer. Those are on the client so that you will continue to have places where you can play with those cards. And that's why a number of older cards that have been available from Standards past are on the client, because, you know, there was a time when Standard had Throne of Eldraine cards, for example, that we all know, or, you know, those of us who were there may not remember fondly, but it is what it is. But, those cards are available in the older formats, and these cards that are rotating out of Standard and Alchemy will continue to be available in the older formats. So notably, the sets that are going to be included this time around with this rotation, we're losing Zendikar, Kaldheim, Strixhaven, and Adventures in the Forgotten Realms. Those sets are all going to go bye-bye. And with that, we're going to see some major archetypes that are going to be going out the window as well. All the lesson learned stuff from Strixhaven is going to be gone. Kaldheim has a lot of very powerful cards that have shaken up and established certain archetypes. I mean, Goldspan Dragon, Asika's Chariot, you know, just to name a couple. And we also have Showdown of the Skalds, Runeforge Champion. Those are all going to be going away. Those are from Kaldheim. We also have Zendikar, Landfall, Scoot Swarm, Ruin Crab, all that stuff that you either know and love or know and maybe don't love so much. That's all going to be going away as well. And then Adventures in the Forgotten Realms has a number of actually surprisingly powerful cards. The first one that comes to mind just right off the dome is Werewolf Pack Leader. That's a very powerful card that was a defining 2-drop in the mono green decks, and that's going to be going away, as well as cards like Deadly Dispute, Unexpected Windfall, although we do have Big Score from New Capenna that's very comparable. But needless to say, there's a lot of great stuff in these sets that are going to be going away come Standard. This is also why you will note in the previews for Alchemy Horizons Baldur's Gate that is going to be releasing on July 7th, there are a number of cards in there that were printed in Adventures in the Forgotten Realms. The reason that those cards are included in Alchemy Horizons is, one, to give you more opportunities to actually get them on Arena. So there's that. You have an opportunity to get those cards in booster packs now that maybe you didn't open a lot of AFR, but also they retain their Alchemy legality. They're going to remain legal in Alchemy because that set, Alchemy Horizons, is specifically designed for Alchemy, and all those cards are legal in Alchemy. So even after rotation, cards like Sepulchre Ghoul that are in the Alchemy Horizons set will remain Alchemy legal, but they will no longer be Standard legal because they are no longer in a Standard legal set as AFR rotates out. So that's important to note. So we are going to be seeing some differences between Standard and Alchemy coming, you know, with this rotation, which I think is kind of neat. I'm looking forward to that very much. I want both of those formats to kind of stand on their own merits as their own separate things. And I'm excited to see that. Now, the sets that are not going anywhere, the sets that we get to keep, are Innistrad Midnight Hunt, Innistrad Crimson Vow, Kamigawa Neon Dynasty, and the Streets of New Capenna. And then there's also going to be Alchemy Horizons, which is specifically for Alchemy, and that's going to be coming out soon. And this rotation is also going to be timed with the release of Dominaria United. So at no point are we going to have just 4 sets in Standard. We will have 5, but we don't know what Dominaria is going to bring yet. So it's easy to assume and make some predictions about what decks are going to be popular or what cards are going to function well come rotation, and we can understand and make some educated guesses, but without knowing what's going to be in Dominaria United, it's very difficult to say, because there could be some very format defining cards in that set that dictate the new meta. We just haven't seen it yet. So that's one of the things that makes this exciting. And if you're on the more cynical side, this is also a way that Wizards can continue to sell packs, because the standard format, which they clearly want you to think of as the standard way to play Magic, is only the newer products that they're trying to get off the shelves. So it's good for business. And to be honest, I love Standard. I think it's a very fun environment, and I love the idea of keeping things fresh and having new toys constantly to experiment with. Is there cost associated with it? Absolutely. But it's a premium hobby, and that's just part of the deal, I'm afraid. But so that's rotation in a nutshell. This September, we're losing 4 sets. We are going to be gaining a new one in Dominaria United. But these sets will also remain in eternal formats, so keep that in mind. If there's a particular archetype that you absolutely adore, if you really love if you love your Runes deck and you just want to keep playing your Runes deck, see if you can come up with an Explorer variant of the Runes deck and make it work, because it's possible. It's very possible. Like, why not try it? You'd be surprised. You can do some really cool things in the older formats. But anyway, with that, we're going to call it for today. Thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you for checking out this video. If you have any questions about Standard and Alchemy rotation, please don't hesitate to put those in the comments below. Or if there are other topics that you'd like to see me cover on this channel, please let me know in the comments. That I do read all of those, and it makes a huge difference. Also, I am closing in on the 1,000 subscriber mark, which is a big milestone, and I would love to hit that in the next month or 2. If you wouldn't mind, if you haven't already done so, please hit that subscribe button. It makes a huge difference to content creators, and it would make a huge difference. It would mean a lot to me. So thank you so much. I will catch you on the next one. And yeah, have a good one.